So let's just go ahead and start talking, and then you can go in and I'll get the MP4 file and I'll email it to you. You download it, and then you can load it and upload it and edit it. And then that way you can add your intro and you can add your personal touch to it. Um, so one thing I wanted to talk about in the news was the space travel by the civilians today, not a space program. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy that when I was younger, that was, I mean, not even younger, even in high school, like only astronauts went to space. I got to NASA, like that, and then now we have these billionaires coming out that's like, hey, I want to fulfill my childhood dream, and then like you said, the guy actually backed out of $28 million.
Yeah, yeah, $28 million he did. Another thing that was breaking in the news that has to do with pawn shops is four people that committed a robbery in a pawn shop in Tennessee were sentenced on Monday. So four individuals, four suspects that robbed a South Nashville pawn shop were sentenced on Monday. They got away with 14 handguns and more than 8,000 in cash from Music City Pawn on Tuesday morning last year, some month in last year, but they got sentenced. So glad to see that's going on.
Good.
Another thing in the news, tell them about the Illinois rate cap law that's
Okay,
good.
so the rate cap law is going on in Illinois. Hold on, because I wrote notes about it. It was definitely a heavy topic all week long that we were in Fort Worth. Like that was like something that definitely lingered in the back of people's minds, and I also think that not a lot of people knew about it or the severity of the situation.
For sure, for sure. And the GOP, which is the Global Action Politic Committee for the National Pawnbrokers Association, we have a person lobbying for us up there in Washington D.C. But we need to have that on the state level too, just due to bills like this, things getting slipped in.
For sure, like the North Carolina Palmer Association. Did you say there was only three people sitting at the table for North Carolina?
There was three active members sitting at the table. I was the fourth person. I'm not an active member. I am underneath Jery's pond, but Dad is the actual active charter member. But yeah, I mean, we had the vice president, and the president was asleep upstairs in his hotel room. Sorry to call you out, Bob Moulton, but I'm calling you out anyway. But yeah, so Bob's actually like passing over the torch. He's turning over the books. There was a lady on staff that did a lot of the secretary work, and she was paid. So, we didn't even know where the budget was, what kind of money we have, or what kind of money we don't have.
Right, or
So,
numbers or
yeah,
anything. Because I mean, there's probably some people who are in it but just weren't there, which doesn't help either.
right,
Strength and I believe in
right.
strength in numbers, especially when it comes to competing with the government, telling them like, hey, this is important to a lot more than just three people in North Carolina. And like you said, in Cumberland County, where our shops are actually located, there's what do you say, 13 pawn shops in that county
13 pawn
alone.
shops. Yeah, in
And in
that
Dallas
county.
Fort Worth, we only had three active members. And like you said, we're all under one active member. But like I said, we need, recognition from each store, not
Yeah,
just the big chains like National Pawn and others.
right, right. So, definitely need to get some participation, get some things going, get some things moving, find out what we can do for our activists, get our name out there as far as the Pawnbrokers Association, the North Carolina Pawnbrokers Association. Johnny Whiteside, from Kendall Pawn and Jewelry down in Sanford, and him and his wife Tara, Johnny did an excellent job at the convention, I think,
For
organizing
sure.
everything.
Yeah, was he actually like the full man in charge of that whole
I
thing?
think he was the head of the
Like one,
committee.
right? Okay.
They had a committee that was the part of organizing the whole show itself, and I think he was the head of the committee. But he definitely did a good job making sure everything was flowing properly. Things were, going in and out seamlessly. Seemed like there was a lot of behind the scenes work going on.
For sure. Yeah, like I said, everything from I'd say like 90% of the seminars everybody loved. Only like a few like minor like I didn't really like that here and there. But I mean, from the seminars to the actual like dinners that they took us to the events, like the little cowboy thing and the thing at Billy Bob. I like you said, I think everything just it was perfect to me. I mean, it was my first one, so I might be a little prejudiced, but I thought it was amazing. Like you said, he made it look easy. At times you look over in the corner and he like is like, making sure he crossed all his T's and dotted all his I's. But for the most part, I think he did amazing. It was awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been to a lot of seminars with other industries, and they don't send buses to get you places. They don't have schedules laid out on the big, pop ups or
Right, like itineraries and stuff,
yeah,
like the little cardboard
itineraries.
cutouts and
Yeah.
yeah.
You get a piece of paper when you get there on the first morning, and if you lose that, then you're kind of lost. You don't know what's going on, what at what time, and even all the way to the box lunches. I mean, it was actually a pretty good, well set up, well thought out thing.
Right, and he definitely. I mean, I don't know if it's the same sponsors that have been doing it year after year, but like it seemed like he knew what he was doing. Like I said, we had huge like different companies providing the box lunches, different companies providing us with the refreshment tickets. Like he thought of it all. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I like the doctor, the retail doc, Bob Phipps.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm looking at. Bob Fitz,
Yep.
amazing. Loved
Amazing.
him.
Yeah, he was great. It was a lot better than just having some motivational speaker up there talking. So and Bob touched on a lot of things like going back to the basics with sales. Uh,
Hmm.
that's one thing that people get away from the basics. They forget the basics, but that's what the whole uh, psychological part of sales is about, is the basics, just sticking to the four basic things: breaking
Right,
the ice, starting a relationship, building trust, and then that's when you get that sale to go through.
right. I would say like it's so important because you know we need to do what we can in this industry to get new customers. And like I said, just going back to the basics and just treating somebody like a human being is just the best way. Like, um, what did he say? He said the products are a souvenir of your store's experience. So like it's not even about let me sell this product. It's about like let me sell them the experience. Let me show them why they should come back to our store. Like it doesn't matter if they're buying something for $1 or $1,000. Like let me show you why you should come back here every time. And I think a lot of people forget about that. They just focus on, oh my gosh, I gotta sell this brand new Glock or I gotta sell this $4,000 Cuban link, and it's just like just take it back, go to the basics, make them feel comfortable, figure out what they want. You're not going to get that sale every single day.
No, and I like what he was talking about when he said that selling is something we get to do with the customer, because you don't know if that purchase of that necklace is like breaking their bank account. They're not going to be able to do nothing but buy pork and beans for the next week until they get paid
Right.
again. But their heart's set on buying that necklace, and they're spending their hard-earned money on it, and you get to do that with them. You get to take and walk them through the sale. So yeah, I really like the his outlook on the whole sales experience.
Yeah, for sure. And he also like just like made it relatable. Like I know his expertise is not pawn shops. So I also think he did a good job of being like, okay, what material from my own catalog can I present to these pawnbrokers that they'll genuinely learn from? I mean, I have 2 pages of notes from him, and
Yeah.
he's not even the actual pawnbroker guy. I mean, not bashing the other pawnbrokers, but I mean, I genuinely learned from him.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just looking here on his website. He's got a podcast too. I got to listen to one of his podcasts, but he's got some amazing credentials. I mean, he's worked with some of the huge retailers. He does consulting. Let me see about who he's worked with. So his clients list is Brianna, Brother, Caesar's Palace, Hunter Douglas, Lego, Omega, Hearts on Fire, Husqvarna chainsaws and power equipment, Vera Bradley, Yamaha.
Wow.
Those are just a handful of the thousands of big and small brands who's trusted Bob Phipps. King Midas Touch is one of his nicknames.
I love that. I mean, and
Yeah.
it's well deserved. I mean, what we got 45 minutes of his time, and everything I've been like preaching about lately came from him. Like almost like a fine.
Yeah, I did a whole slideshow for Denise on just sales training based off of notes I took off from his
Oh, you should
seminar.
send it to me because I was definitely mine is definitely in the works, so we might as well just combine both of our ideas. But I also like he said, give shoppers a feeling. People will buy more when they feel they matter. And like
Yeah.
I said, that just goes back to treating somebody like a human being. Like, you know, you never know when somebody really needs that extra hand, and there's no better place to do it than your pawn shop.
For sure. So I'm sending you that now. You'll have it in your email. I did it both ways, PowerPoint and PDF, because uh, Jery couldn't open it as a PowerPoint. I guess he didn't have the program on his laptop. So what's going on in Danielle's jeweler world? What's on the front with Danielle's
Well,
jewelry? D Dub.
well, basically, I've just been kind of working on expanding my clientele in Charlotte. I have my little machine set up. I just got my posters in, and I'm just kind of basically practicing my marketing. Like, I want to be able to just pop out with like stuff branded. Like, I'm waiting on my microfiber cloths to come. Like, I have my posters. Like, I want as soon as I come out with my actual brand, I want people to know like, oh yeah, that's Danny the jeweler. That's her. That's her stuff. That's her logo. Because they emphasize so heavily on marketing. And like you say, with Monarch, you guys have Monarch everything. And I'm just also kind of doing this a trial run because if it works for me, it'll definitely work for the pawn shop.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we've got to do some branding. Branding is the way is the only way to get your name out there. And those custom pieces, they go for high dollar. But
Yeah, I no, what were you gonna say?
without a brand behind that custom piece, you're not going to get that high dollar.
Exactly, I agree 100%. And I've found in any type of industry, if you want to have your own brand and stuff out there, then your marketing has to be on point. Like I can't just like I just had my Instagram page, but no logo, no nothing for people to be like, oh, like that's her. And I feel like people will remember it more if they see like an image and they're like, oh, that's her, that's you, that's your piece. So
Right.
it took me like a good week of just editing and looking at it and going to sleep, waking up and be like, oh, I don't like that, but finally got something I'm happy with. So I'm definitely excited to hear. I'm actually gonna record some content, like a lot, and just be able to like put it out whenever I'm busy because my problem was I wasn't consistent, which is another thing you have to do. You have to be consistent. There's always somebody doing it if you're not. And I've learned that
Exactly.
that's how you get left in the dust because while I go out or something, somebody else is staying up editing their podcast or, just uploading content. While I'm not uploading content, they are. So definitely just taking my time and just realizing, like this is what I have to do. And I've also learned that there's no secret to being successful. There really isn't. you know what to do. You have to do it, and your biggest obstacle is yourself at the end of the day, for sure.
Exactly. For sure. I mean, consistency is the answer to success. I mean, if you don't put in the work, then it just dies.
Right. I mean, it's literally science that you put in what you get out. Like,
Right.
there's no like, go to sleep underneath a full moon and drink a glass of water and wake up and you'll be successful. Like, no, it's just at the end of the day, you either do it or you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So coming up on our next episode, we're going to try to do some interviews. We're going to interview the owner of Jery's Pond, the founder, somebody who's been in the industry for over 50 years,
Right.
and
Started when he
get,
was 16.
yeah, he started, at 16. It was actually a retail music store at the time before it transformed into a pawn shop. So it's very interesting to hear those stories. I hadn't heard them in a while. I'll be glad to listen to them again.
For sure. But yes, and we will have these episodes every Tuesday. You guys come join us, talk about us, find us on social media. My Instagram is Danny the Jeweler DA. Feel free to DM me any questions you want to know, comments, concerns, whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Put anything that you want to hear about on the show, anything you want to learn about. We are going to be researching on how to loan money on cryptocurrency. That's a big thing that we're looking for. We're also looking to learn about how to get into the luxury game. Pawn shop's always been part of the luxury game with the Rolexes, diamonds, expensive jewelry. But what about the shoes and the handbags? Something that we learned about at the show. We're going to try to
Right,
dive in deeper to that and share the knowledge as we learn.
right, and especially like with my generation, like it's our thing. We want to go, ooh, the Goodwill. Oh, it's been thrifted. So a pawn shop is essentially a thrift store for everything but clothes. I mean, and like I also tell people, like jewelry is a piece of metal. Ask them to polish it for you, and it looks brand new. But that's a different episode.
Yeah, it is for sure. Because the diamond's 50,000 years old, so there's no such thing as a new diamond.
Right. I'm like, okay, y'all.
And those same people that buy diamonds at the Atlanta jewelry show when we go are in those expensive retail jewelry stores that people think they're getting new diamonds from. So it's just,
Right. Right, and that's I always tell people, like I love the pawn shop industry. Not even pawn shop, really. I mean, really leaning towards jewelry industry. It's so controlled. Like if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. And it's like you either take the time to do your research and realize, oh, that's how that works, or you end up paying $2,000 for a class J diamond.
yeah.
Nobody wants that. Super foggy. But
All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us on Jery's Pond Podcast. My name is Trip, and this is.
the Jery's Pawn Podcast.
There you go. And my co host, Danielle, we really appreciate. Leave in the comments anything you want to hear in the show. And for now, we'll see you next time.
Peace.